Good afternoon. For those of you that don't know me, I know that many of you have been exploring our channel, and I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for offering me a chance to be able to get to know you. We do have a wonderful community of empathetic, compassionate people who are really interested in the psychology topics that Recovering Perfectionist Mama offers. I am a women's lifestyle creator on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, covering topics such as family roles, covering topics such as freezing and communication, and various other things. And ultimately, I think that we have been able to build a community that is actually interested in each other, is actually compassionate, and looks out for their fellow community members. And so ultimately, what we strive to do is to help you see the version of yourself in some of these topics. And then you can actually feel it, and then you can come back to understand it. So let's talk about some of the themes that we've done that have been very popular recently. These name scenarios that people feel but can't fully articulate what they mean. And so I was called this by YouTube. I have an eagle eye because I do legal analysis as well, but I also have a heart for people that are struggling and are working to heal. And I want to help people heal, if it's possible, through these videos so they can be able to be aware of what's going on and then be able to put it into language. And a new thing that we're recently offering are scripts. So sometimes you think, why didn't I say something? And now you potentially have on certain topics a script that you can potentially get out of the rut in and be able to address the concerns that you wish you had been able to address long ago. So some of our top performing entries and their themes are fake nice. I don't do fake anything, and I know a lot of our community does not either. And so that's a wonderful place to have the cohesion there. We have a supportive community. One phrase people use is another one, to get out of conversations, to avoid accountability, all those things, the sneaky, dirty, manipulative tricks that a lot of people don't recognize until they're sitting on their couch and it hits them like a ton of bricks. Stop explaining yourself is another one, because ultimately explaining yourself sometimes helps, but ultimately a lot of people that have an urge to explain themselves, it's because they have been misunderstood for so long, and they feel like if they just explain themselves, then people will actually understand what they're saying. When something feels off is another topic that we talked about. You feel something in your spiny sense, but you're not sure exactly what it is, but you know something's off. You just have to try to figure it out. And then let's talk about, this is the awareness of what our channel is about. We're looking at new angles every day. We're looking to provide empowerment to the people that view our podcast without sensationalism, without gimmicks, without, following trends, because trends come and go. But psychology and self-help things that actually move the needle are evergreen and are important for people to be able to level up. So this is where most people get stuck, and it's why they keep going back, right? And so there's a reason that this is happening, and it's not what you think. So then we talk about that kind of thing, right? And so ultimately it can be extremely difficult to struggle and work through that. So the other thing, let's talk about some of the shorts. We actually also have shorts. One phrase people use to shut down difficult conversations because they don't want to face accountability, or they don't want to have to apologize, or sometimes even listen to the conversation. They want to project things on you and use dirty tricks and tactics to try to deter you. And then also, we also have a why that phrase works and why you freeze when you hear it. That's another one that we've done. And then fake nice people rely on one social role. And then ultimately, too, the hidden contract between fake nice and why it feels so confusing. I think a lot of our people are extremely authentic and want to be authentic rather than going toward the fake, which is what society a lot of times is rewarding. And unfortunately, that's not really my style. So you can count on truth and honesty and non-sensationalism, even in my true crime channels. I'm an almost 18-year criminal defense attorney, but I don't go into the gory details of the crime because I think that is a little much, especially because these people were victims, right? And I don't want to sensationalize their life. I'm a victim's rights advocate for sure. And then shorts, things like stop explaining yourself to people who already decided who you are. And then also why you keep explaining yourself anyway, even when you know better. So essentially that is important. If you're the one who was always the reasonable one, is another topic that we've done. Or if you were the one who kept the peace, that's another one that we've done that people actually recognized and saw themselves in it. Our family roles podcasts are extremely popular because people are starting to recognize themselves in it and realize kind of how much of a unfair situation it is where no one really wants you to evolve. And if you're just now starting to question things is also another one that we've talked about and we've done and people have enjoyed, as well as there are so many options for you, so many paths. Each path is different depending on your interest and your needs. So for returning viewers, I would want to say, you all know that we have a pretty substantial body of work, over 700 plus videos. So there's sure to be something to find that maybe you might be interested in. Additionally, you also have the idea of, if you feel comfortable, please answer this in the comments below. Be honest, when did you first notice something felt off? Or did you learn to stay quiet or to over-explain? Because it seems like people are divided into two different camps, right? So let's also talk about the fact that we do a lot of series work so that things build on the other. And I do think that the scripting, because you all had requested that, I mean, I think that's a fantastic addition, especially for people that sometimes don't really have the words that they want to say, or maybe they get anxious or nervous and it all kind of flies out the window. So that's another thing that we can definitely talk about and look at. So for those of you that are new, welcome. Just know that I do comment in the community. I am very proud of this community. I really try to give you relevant topics and also engage with you and answer questions. And I also go live on TikTok at noon p.m. Eastern every day of the week. And then I go on YouTube live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern every day of the week. And then I've been going live on Instagram live at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I am accessible. I do respond to comments. I do enjoy interacting with people. I have been thinking about doing just a podcast only group where we actually have like a live where you guys can ask questions and meet and greet and things like that to bolster up our community and all that if anyone's interested in that. But I just want to say thank you a lot because this has been my dream for a long time. And I do have a broadcasting degree as well. And somehow, some way, like things aligned and I was fortunate enough to be able to do this podcast and be able to meet some amazing people along the way. So I hope that if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message on YouTube or whatever. And thank you for tuning in and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.